Hello and welcome to a Rivals of Ixalan Sealed League. This is Old Man Poole. I still had a bunch of old Rivals of Ixalan, a couple of Ixalan packs lying around on Magic Online, so I figured Sealed was a good way to eat those up and provide a little bit of value for you guys as well. I guess let's start out by looking at our rares. I can see we've already got Alinda, the Dusk Rose, who's pretty sweet. We've had the opportunity to play with her a couple of times. Oops, not what we wanted. Rares. That is highly amusing that Dusk Legion Zealot gets to go in the lands pile, so does Legion Conquistador. We're not going to question that too much, I guess. Not the most fantastic selection of rares. Tendershoot Dryad is fantastic. Alinda's good. Sunpetal Grove could potentially allow us to splash either the Dryad or maybe into white if we're already in green. Radiant Destiny can be good, but you have to have a lot of permanence before it's exciting, and I think that's unusual in Sealed. You also have to kind of be aggressive, which is also another constraint. Dead Man's Chest I don't think is really all that great. If you had tons of removal and the game was going to go really long, but a lot of times this is like a very difficult to do, like Divination or something similar. And then Angrass Marauders. I think this is like definitely a playable. It's quite powerful on the top end for 7, but it is a little bit expensive. It is better in Sealed, though, for sure. Alright, I guess let's look at colors. I'm going to do the same thing I've done in the past, where I'm going to kind of pull down the cards I am excited about and put them up here, and the cards I think are playable down below, and leave everything else on the sideboard. And I'm going to cut in between each color so you guys don't have to watch me do all the grunt work. So I'll see you guys in a second with white. So we actually didn't have a ton of white that we opened, but everything that I saw I thought was playable. We've got 2 Luminous Bonds, Forerunner of the Legion, and Radiant Destiny if we do end up going into Vampires. Radiant Destiny being in this top area and Forerunner of Legion being in this top area are pretty much predicated that we're in white-black. Otherwise our white looks a little bit less exciting. But we have 2 Queen's Commissions, Sanguine Glorifier. We only have 1 Legion Conquistador, which is a little bit unfortunate. But if we have some good black payoffs, I could see the Vampires deck being a thing. Let's look at blue. Blue looks pretty middle of the road. We do have 2 Curious Obsessions, which are kind of leading the ranks. Works very well with Soul of the Rapids, which I think this ordinarily would not be on the top side, but with Curious Obsession, that not only is a real clock, but draws even more value to stay alive and on the ground or whatever else you need. Have a couple of reasonable bounce spells, and then kind of a lot of chaff. I mean, I like Dive Down. It's good with Curious Obsession. Rig Hauler's fine. But not like, nothing truly exciting either. Let's look at red. So outside of some pretty good top end with Angrass Marauders, Fire Cannon Blast, red looks pretty unexciting. Mutiny's fine. We managed to open 3 Orazka Raptors. I only put 2 down here because I really can't see us playing with the 3rd. Same went for the Sworn Guardian in blue. I'll play 1, but I'm really not excited about the 2nd. But just not anything really crazy. Some okay removal, 1 good top-end card, but that's kind of it in red. And I realized we completely skipped black, so let's do black here. So our black's in kind of an awkward spot, because I think it's pretty good. We have Moment of Craving, Walk the Plank, and Vanquish the Weak. And then Vampire Revenant, 3 Dusk Legion Zealots, which is really great if we weren't to go into Vampires. But honestly, we just don't have any of the great payoffs for the Vampires deck. Like, we didn't see an Anointed Deacon or anything like that. Radiant Destiny kind of would maybe let us get there, but we're like, kind of scraping the barrel for playables with white-black. It may be that's still good with Alinda, and as it stands right now, I guess we have 23, counting Alinda, so maybe, although I'm not amazed by it either. Well, this has been kind of unexciting so far. Let's hope our green looks good. Well, unfortunately, we're not absolutely in love with our green either. Tendershoot Dryad's obviously an all-star, probably the best card in our pool, and we've got Drover of the Mighty and Merfolk Branchwalker, which is a great start, but it goes downhill after that. Like, a bunch of sort of fine cards. I do quite like River Herald's Boon and Forerunner of the Heralds, but we have very few Merfolk, which actually really make it work. If we were to play blue-green, I would definitely play the Forerunner, just because it's pretty good, even if you find only 1 extra Merfolk. But, yeah, not tons going on there, unfortunately. So then in our golden commons, we do have a handful here. We've got Alendra, which would be good in our black-white sort of vampires nonsense deck. doesn't feel like it has all that much to actually like push through in the late game, other than just being kind of some solid cards. We have Raging Swordtooth, which is quite good if we were to end up in red-green, and red-green may actually end up being our pick of choice since we have two fairly good rares and a reasonable amount of playables if they're not exciting. We got two Relentless Raptors, which, if we were really aggressive, these are pretty good. I would have to put together the deck, though, and see if that seems reasonable. We've also got Exokenseer. Between that and Sunpetal Grove, and Stone Quarry, actually, we could maybe consider doing a sort of three-color nonsense between red, green, and white. We also have a couple of Gleaming Barriers and a Relic, but unfortunately no Evolving Wilds or Traveler's Amulet, which does make the three-color deck a lot easier. So yeah, after looking through our packs, I definitely don't feel like we have an obvious direction, but let's put together black-white, see how that looks, and then move on from there. Okay, so this is black-white with really almost nothing else we can play. I mean, I guess we're playing Splashing for Tendershoot Triad, and I guess that's not true. But outside of that, and this is only at the Sunpetal Grove, we don't have any way to fetch for it, which is definitely unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, there's just not tons here. We've got two Luminous Bonds, which is fantastic. We have Radiant Destiny, which goes along with Queen's Commission quite well. But for the most part, it's just a bunch of kind of like pretty small ground creatures. I think we have a really tough time actually breaking through and killing opponents. We only have one flyer in the Vampire Revenant. Elent is good, but not absurd. We have Vampire's Zeal and some okay removal. But I really think that this deck was close. It had a lot of the components of a vampire deck, but just missing a little bit of like the top end payoff. If we'd ended up with one Anointed Deacon or like a Pirate's Cutlass or maybe a Deathless Ancient, I could see doing this, but as it stands, I think we're just falling a little bit short. Not an absolute disaster of a deck, but I think we can do better. Let's look at our red-green kind of splashing white next and see where we go from there. So this is red-green just on its own. Not real inspiring. Again, we're a little bit lacking just raw power, although I do feel better having Anger's Marauders and a very good chance of playing Tendershoot Dryad. Kind of heavy on the 4s drop space with not really very many exciting 4s. Forerunner of the Heralds is only getting Merfolk Branchwalker in this deck. Knight of the Stampede is ramping us a little bit, but not a ton. And we don't really have tons of removal either. We have Fire Cannon Blast, Mutiny, that's kind of it. So let's try and look at maybe a slightly more greedy, risky play, and see what it looks like if we add in white as well. We could even shift maybe to white-red and play Relentless Raptors. Although we have so few, like we have no other 2-drops in red we want to play. I guess we have a couple in red. No, let's toy around with that and kind of see where we end up. Yeah, when I look at this, our white just looks pretty abysmal, honestly. Like, if we're not trying to take advantage of some vampire synergies, there's just very, very little here outside of the Luminous Bonds. So, with Sunpetal Grove and Stone Quarry available, if we do end up white-green, I think we'll end up splashing for the Luminous Bonds, although maybe nothing else, honestly. The Exokenseer is pretty good, but also kind of hard for us to play. Yeah. No, this isn't inspiring, though. I don't think we can try and make an aggressive deck work with this sort of stupid, weird curve with not enough 2-drops. So this really, I think, just leaves us green-blue. Red-blue, I don't know, I think our green is a little bit better than our red. And also provides a few more early plays to go along with things like Curious Obsession. So I guess let's look at blue-green. We also have Woodland Stream, which is some nice upside there. So blue-green has the advantage that it's one of our deepest colors in terms of playables. There are definitely some cards here I'm not real excited to play. Sworn Guardian, for instance. And I mean, River Darter's kind of just okay. But there's maybe some arguments to be had here. Soul the Rapids is a reasonable win condition to go along with Tendershoot Dryad. Not as good, obviously, but can be played. This deck also has the advantage that we can play River Herald's Boon and actually have a reasonable chance of hitting 2 Merfolk, and River Herald's Boon can just be absolutely backbreaking. Don't think we need to play Thunderherd Migration in this. I mean, I'm not sure what we'd splash for. Maybe a Raging Swordtooth. I guess we could still just splash for, like, Luminous Bonds out of this deck. As we do have the green-white land. And maybe between that and, like, Depths of Desire that ends up getting there. I don't know, the more I look at our blue, though, I'm not real inspired by it either. The best thing we've got going are the 2 Curious Obsessions, and this is the real deal. There are very many times where you'll play a Curious Obsession and can just get in there, draw 2 or 3 cards before your opponent can effectively answer it, and then you're way ahead. But there's also, it's better when you're in a more aggressive deck. I think you really consistently want to have a 2-drop or even a 1-drop to go along with it, and I don't think this deck's going to do that very often. I think that of the color combinations we've seen, our red-green splashing white, I guess, looks best. Not in love, though. I could see maybe shifting into blue if we just had tons and tons of... My opponent had lots of auras or something, we could really get them with bounce. But I guess let's build back our red-green splash white deck and see how that looks. Okay, baseline red-green, this is what we're looking at. And maybe cut Forerunner of the Heralds. It does go and find the Branch Walker, but that may just not be enough. It's pretty unexciting without the chance to grow with a lot of Merfolk. And even going and finding Merfolk Branch Walker on top of your deck on turn 5 is not, like, absurd. So maybe Forerunner's not great. I could see not playing Itzokan Seer just because we're going to have some struggle playing white. But on the other hand, we're going to have 3 sources. We're going to have Sunpele Grove, Stone Quarry, and Thunderherd Migration. And we can kind of play that for free. The Seer is very good. It also has the potential to bring back one of our bigger dinosaurs if it dies later on in the game, which is nice. It's just, the Seer is at its best by far when you can play it on turn 3. And I'm not sure this deck's going to be able to play it on turn 3 very often, whereas Luminous Bonds is good kind of no matter what point in the game you're at. I guess we need to pull the River Herald's Boon out of there. That's not great at all. I do think I'm going to keep in Plummet just because we're pretty removal light, even with the Luminous Bonds. And Plummet, there's a lot of flyers in the format. I'm pretty sure you can almost always find a target for that. Maybe we take out the Spike-tailed Ceratops. Is that our next worst card? Like, at least when you're on defense, there's so much, or so little difference between this card and, like, an Orazka Frillback. Once in a while, this blocks a little bit better, but they're going to trade with a lot of the same creatures. The fact that this can block an additional creature comes up almost never. I also kind of dislike that this deck has very few ways to, like, get rid of extra lands, and we have multiple ramp sources already. We could maybe consider playing 16 lands, although that's pretty tough with Ingress Marauders, too. On the other hand, our curve in general is a little bit on the lower side, and we do have, like, Brazen Freebooter, a couple of Explorer cards. I do think we want to play the Marauders just because it gives us the opportunity to win games we wouldn't ordinarily. And maybe we have to hope to get a little bit lucky with this deck, in which case maybe playing 16 lands is just better. But I mean, we're bringing in a Spike-tailed Ceratops. It just doesn't seem like that much of a payoff. Like, we're kind of making room for sort of nothing. Yeah, I guess we'll just play 17 here and just have lots of extra mana. I mean, Drover the Mighty and Itzokan Seer will do things later on in the game. Thunderherd Migration at least pulls a land out of our deck, so it's kind of like an Evolving Wilds effect for that reason. Yeah, I feel like we have a pretty weak sealed pool overall. We had to look a little... pretty hard to find a deck like this, and even this deck is just fine. I don't think it's absurd. But, I mean, when you're playing decks that are a little bit worse, it often encourages you to play a little bit better to make up for it, so hopefully we'll see some good games here. Let's add in those 2 lands. Deck wants 3 planes. I think that's aggressive. Do like 7/7/1. Our ramp is in green, so maybe that's an argument for playing a little bit heavier on green side. Yeah, I kind of don't hate that, although Marauders and Sunground Hunters might be kind of hard to play then. Although, I think I'm going to go 7/7. And, I guess 8/8, because we have Sunpetal and Stone Quarry. And I guess we'll just call this it. Here goes nothing. I'll see you guys for match 1. Welcome back from match 1. We won the dice roll. Would like to play first. Well, this is kind of why I was thinking about skewing heavier in green. Because if we had 1 green source, this hand's pretty good. If we find any lands, like eventually we can play freebooter. If we find green, it just gets so good so fast. We have 8 green sources, about a 1/4 chance. I think we actually have to mulligan, which is a tough pill to swallow, but I think it's probably correct. Okay, this hand is better. If we find any land, we can play Ranging Raptors, and then after that it's Oakenseer. If we find white. I think we're putting that on the bottom. We don't have any business keeping 7 drops with this hand, even though if it is one of our quote-unquote bombs. Alright, opponent starting off with a swamp and a play. Okay, Traveler's Amulet. Alright, actually Thunderherd Migration is a very good draw there, because we can go and find our white source, and we have the dinosaur to reveal to it, so that was pretty fantastic. Rampant Growth is pretty good when it's actually just Rampant Growth. Now, the goal here is to try and convince my opponent they have to kill something before the Tender Street Dryad. So with that in mind, we might play like Ranging Raptors. Ooh, that's bad for our health. So this is when it attacks if you control another pirate. Yeah, that's nasty for sure. So we play Ranging Raptors. We don't have another land drop just yet, which means we can't... Yeah, I guess maybe actually we play Oakenseer then. And then if we find a land, we can play the Horncrest next turn. We also play Tender Street Dryad, although I would really ideally like to land this after my opponent's used a removal spell or two, since this is one of our finishers. But I guess that's irrelevant at this point, since I think Oakenseer is our play for now. My opponent does look like they're predominantly white-black, which means Phantom Fleet Captain may just be a solid 2-drop that has upside sometimes. It might not be like a game ender. So if they don't have a lot of other pirates, it's good, just not fantastic. I would play a 2/1 Menace for 2, though. Especially if I'm thinking aggressive thoughts. No play. So Sunflower Grove was nice. I guess we're going to play Stampeding Horncrest. Alternatively, we could play Ranging Raptors and Trailblazer, or we could just play Raptors and keep up blockers. Although if my opponent's got any removal at all, that feels pretty bad. I guess let's play Ranging Raptors and the Trailblazer, I think, here. Alright, we don't have tons more cards in hand. Because I'm kind of trying to bait removal from my opponent. Okay, they're using Traveler's Amulet this turn. Since if we draw the Tender Street Dryad there, we might get like 1 Saproling and they just impale it or something, which is probably not the way we're winning the game. Ooh, green as well. So I wonder if they're heavier on green or white. It's possible they had a white-black opening and actually are more of a green deck. Kind of what it's looking like here. So my opponent's got 4 colors of cards over there. That's pretty sweet. And I mean, I think we're just swing with the Horncrest and like Trailblazer, I guess. Trailblazer's likely to just trade for the Pioneer, which isn't great, but then my opponent does take some damage. If we're doing that, I guess if we're willing to trade the Trailblazer for the Pioneer, or are we willing to trade either of these cards? It would be nice to be able to bring back the Horncrest with the Oakenseer in the future. My opponent's probably not going to be willing to block the Ranging Raptors. They could just have mono white up for Combat Trick, although they could also just be trying to show that they could have that. I kind of think we're getting aggressive here. I might leave the Seer back. But other than that, I think I'm kind of okay with the trades that might be presented here. Okay, opponent just trading away the Jungleborn Pioneer. Not fantastic for us, but not bad either. And my opponent takes 6. Okay, do they do a Vampire Zeal? Interesting. I think I probably would have used that to trade up. Maybe not. Okay, but yeah, that's fine. I am happy to trade a Vampire Zeal for the Trailblazer. And get in for some damage to boot. Possibly should just be playing Tendershoot Dryad. Ooh, Watley, although it's the bad Watley at least. So my opponent can give a creature +X/+X. I guess this is a threat. Opponent gets to gain 4 loyalty right off the bat. And they get to emblem pretty quick. That's a problem. Looks like my opponent might just be genuine 3 colors here. Although, I guess we kind of look like it this game too. Alright. So another forest means what? Another forest might mean that we just need to play Tendershoot Dryad, because we will fall behind Watley the longer it goes here. I really want to avoid removal, but maybe we stall long enough that we just have to play it. So if we swing with everything at Watley, he'll double block the Seer. We get to trade it for the Pioneer. It doesn't seem real good still. Let's swing with our Horncrest on our Raptors at Watley. And I guess play Tendershoot Dryad. We're guaranteed at least 1 Saproling. Although, obviously, that's not our best case scenario. So Watley's going to be a pretty massive life gain spell, if nothing else. Alright, Tendershoot Dryad. Do me proud. Please don't get killed. If it doesn't get killed, it's a little bit of, oh, we don't have the blessing. I should have played on our land. That was pretty costly, actually. Oh, no, we're going to get it, duh, when the Saproling enters. Never mind. A Dinosaur Hunter's a good sign for us, because that might mean there's no removal over there. No. Alright. Perhaps unsurprising, but still disappointing. Watley's getting big. A Raging Swordtooth is actually a quite good draw for us. Enters the battlefield, we'll go and get another land with the Ranging Raptors, which means we have enough for the Marauders if we find them. We can swing and kind of everything's lethal to different creatures as well. We lose the Saproling, but I think that's worth killing off the Captain and the Merfolk. It makes blocking a lot harder for my opponent. I would like to use the ability. And I'll just go and grab a mountain. We're going to continue just being okay attacking these guys. My opponent probably will trade with the Ranging Raptor at this point to keep Watley alive. Could maybe consider double blocking. Still don't like giving away the Seer just because it's a buyback for one of these 2 creatures. Wow, opponent just jumping away. Oh, it's Dinosaur Hunter. That's right, that'll kill off a creature. Yeah, it's okay. Let's draw another mountain, I suppose. We are thinning the deck. That has some merit. And no real reason to sacrifice the Seer just yet anyway. Although next turn, depending on what my opponent plays, we may bring back the Horncrest. I really wish this was any creature, not just a dinosaur. Sadistic Skymarcher is good, but not really, like, fantastic in this situation. My opponent's gained basically 1,000,000 life off of Watley. We could consider just going to the face this next turn. Aggressive Urge. So yeah, let's sacrifice the Seer, bring back Stampeding Horncrest, and maybe just say, hey, you can draw some extra cards, but we can probably just kill my opponent from this point. My opponent's basically at 16, so we have lethal if they don't have any threats. I think they're unlikely to have Stone Cold nothing. We could just kill Watley and be a little bit safer, because if my opponent emblems and then like plays creature, because they've drawn some extra cards, it's pretty bad for us. On the other hand, it's buying so much time, it might just be better to go to the face. Yeah, I think we're still going to kill Huatli or try anyway. So my opponent wants to trade out Sky Marcher. Nope, they're going to be content with their, like, I don't know, 20-point life gain spell or something similar. And I guess let's pass. I think the Aggressive Urge has some utility. So I don't want to cantrip it away immediately. Yeah, Sea Urge, that'll help us kill off the Dread Mob, for instance. Take 2. Branch Walker. So let's go Explorn. And play Find Drover the Mighty. Do we like Drover? I don't think we care about it too much. It is a 3/3. I think we need to do better. Yeah. So let's see. Our scenario here is we swing with the Sword Tooth. If my opponent blocks, we get to get him, or at least trade. In which case, the Drover's good. If my opponent doesn't block, my opponent goes down to 11. They swing back with the Dreadmaw, and then a 3/3 is good. Yeah, this is like very medium. I think I'm going to put it on... well, if I find like Angrath, that's great. Or the Marauders. I feel like we don't have too much more top end in the deck, though. But it's like just a 4/2 better here if we just find one of our frillbacks. We could find like Fire Cannon Blast, which is good. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in the graveyard. I think that's actually a lot closer than maybe it looks. I have to imagine my opponent is just going to take it here. This would have to be a pretty good bluff. Yep. And let's pass. So we're kind of to parity now. The game definitely isn't over. Interesting. Okay. So Journey to Eternity. When it dies, it returns onto the battlefield. Yeah, it's going to be tough for us to beat, actually, this far in. We need to find an answer for the Sky Marcher now. Because they get 2 Colossal Dreadnoughts even if we fight our way through it now. We're not all that far away from lethal. Although we get farther away every turn the Sky Marcher's in play. Raisin Buccaneers, not bad. We do have Luminous Bonds, which I guess would be a pretty fantastic draw. I just can't try to keep up double red, so we have Fire Cannon Blast, but I'm not sure I use that on Colossal Dreadmaw here anyway. And yeah, now I think we're digging unless we're really happy with something, which we will settle for a mountain. So we could swing my opponent down to 3 here, but they would just get the Dread Mob back. Yeah, I think we're still in pass mode. Maybe it's time to cycle the Aggressive Urge, though. Or maybe we should have just that turn, even. Yeah, I think we probably should have. Because then if we'd found, like, Luminous Bonds, we could have swung again. Desperate Castaways. Fine, not crazy. Yeah, I think we're just cycling it here. I should have done that before, but... Sun-Crowned Hunters, that's a good one. Yeah, and if we ever do find Luminous Bonds, there's, 2 in the last 18 cards in our deck. We are all of a sudden very, very far ahead. At this point, we're still swinging for 9. Actually, the Desperate Castaways blanks the Buccaneer, too. We're still gonna keep taking 2 every turn. The problem, too, is... yeah. And Sky Marcher's done good work, and that in Huatli means my opponent has gained just a billion life this game. Come on, Luminous Bonds. Okay, found it. So now we get to swing with both of these. And we're still not doing fantastic, because Dust Charger was a pretty good draw for my opponent there. But we do have an answer for the Dreadmaw, so that's a good thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see my opponent just trade here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. If you trade, you're opening yourself up to more attacks from the rest of our team. Yeah, I don't know if that was correct. We have drawn fairly well. Having a couple of Explore cards in the deck was definitely nice. Okay. Now my opponent can say they, like, double block the Horncrest, for instance. Are we okay trading the Horncrest away? I think so. So right now we swing. They take 5, they're at 7. And then they like block, that's good value. But that means that this Horncrest gets in. I guess if we swing with everything, they would take like 9 and block and still have that left over. I guess we don't swing with the Buccaneers quite yet. Taking a long time with this game. Need to probably speed up a little bit. But let's swing with like something like that. Yeah, I think the double block is not real surprising. We're going to kill off the Sky Marcher, or at least try to. When it allows it. And play a Raptor. So we are on the brink of victory here. One actually doesn't seem to have tons and tons of removal. They've only played Vanquish the Weak, which was a very clean answer for Tendershoot Dryad, but it's possible Tendershoot Dryad will just be an all-star here. Okay, so now we swing, and we just go in with the Buccaneers, I think. Settle the Wreckage, I guess, would be an absolute blowout. That would have had to have been a crazy good draw. I think we probably got my opponent if they're blocking the Sun-Crowned Hunters. Okay. So yeah, we took a long time on that game, but we did win, and so maybe it paid a little bit of dividends. Let's go to our sideboard. Actually, only saw one target for Plummet, although it was a very good target for Plummet. They may not be playing tons, though. I think the game is likely to go long. Actually, the 4/4s may be pretty relevant. So maybe Spike-tailed Ceratopses. Looks okay. Maybe we play that over a Rosca Raptor. We have a good number of ramp cards anyway that will help speed us to that, potentially. We want to take out Plummet. I think I'm still going to keep it in. Sky Marcher's very good, and again, I think the game has the potential to go long, in which case it will be a pretty powerful effect in those games. We could bring in Tianali's Crown. I don't think we're that aggressive, even if my opponent doesn't have much removal. I'm also going to take out one mountain, and we're going to put in one more forest. Okay, and I should remember to do that after this match, too. But let's run this back. See if we can't Mize one more game. Okay, this hand is good. Perfect mana. No ramp, unfortunately. But if we find a couple of lands, we can go 3, 4, 5, 6 potential. I guess that would require some quite good draws, but you never know. Opponent starting off with a Martyr of Dusk. Pretty good against Rosca Frillback, unfortunately. But not too much we can do about it either. Okay, opponent back after a little bit of a break. That's okay. Take 2. Let's see what the follow-up is. Dinosaur Hunter. So you can use the Martyr of Dust to kill off the Dinosaur Hunter, and actually the Thunderherd Migration was a pretty good draw. Kinda don't hate that, especially because the Frillback is so poor against the Martyr of Dusk already. So, but if we ramp up, then we can play like Brazen Freebooter or Brazen Buccaneers next turn. That's true. 2 Brazen Pirates in the course of 2 sets, I suppose. I actually think that's better for us. So let's Thunderherd Migration, not tap our red for sure, and show off that we have an Oraska Frillback. go and find red, I guess. So we've got access to double red. And then play a mutiny. So target creature and opponent controls to deal damage, to be dealt damage. 2 spelling always feels pretty good. Thundered Migration turn earlier obviously would have been better, but it still is not bad. Okay. So opponent is stuck on 2 lands, it looks like. But I've had 3 2-drops, so it's not like the pressure is really diminishing or anything here. If we find a land, we'll certainly play the Spike-tailed Ceratops. If we don't, are we playing Brazen Buccaneers to try and find land drops, or Brazen Freebooter to have the treasure available? I think probably the Brazen Freebooter. It's also guaranteed to block the Martyr of Dusk if they don't have a trick, which is kind of nice. I have to assume we're taking 2 here. Yep. Okay, Aggressive Urge. I think with that in mind, let's play the Brazen Freebooter, and then next turn we'll have the Spike-tailed Ceratops if we need it. And this is just a 3/3, which is not bad either. It always bothers me to no end that Magic Online can't quite get the treasure to all fit in there. Playing Dark Inquiry. Okay. I mean, they get to steal Sun-Crowned Hunters. We're pretty close to casting that, so that's actually not bad. We do have a slew of cards still to play here, though, so I have to assume the Hunters is the pick. It is the highest impact of the cards that we have, certainly. We will take 1. And Luminous Bonds wasn't a bad draw. Do we want to use our treasure up? If we find the Marauders, we're a little bit sad about that. We could just Brazen Buccaneers swing. Ceratops looks really big on this board, though. Let's go ahead and attack for 3 and just play the Ceratops. So still just a little bit tight on mana, but not nearly as bad as my opponent, certainly. Okay, there's the Sky Marcher. And Revealing Paladin the Bloodstained. It's a good one. Sky Marcher might have just been the pickup there because... Or Dark Inquiry before Sky Marcher may have just been to make room for it. Make sure that it was going to get in safely. I think we swing with both here. My opponent wants to try and do some tricky blocking. Aggressive Urge probably does good work. That would mean we couldn't follow up with anything unless we drew a land, but I think it's okay. Swing with both. I guess we could have Brazen Buccaneers first, although I want to keep Aggressive Urge up. And if my opponent just chooses to take it here, I guess we play Branchwalker, hope to find land. That may have been a little bit hasty for attacks, but I think it's not terrible either. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I was gonna say I guess that's playing around Trick, playing around Aggressive Urge, which I guess they do know we have. Oh, okay. Do we want to use it here? We could and just not kill off the Martyr of Dusk. Alternatively, we could kill both of these creatures and maybe find a land. Although, leaving just the Skyblade is pretty bad against Frillback. I think this is the best. And I'm really happy to trade for my opponent's Sky Marcher there. That's a great trade. I can understand my opponent thinks they're under a fair amount of pressure, but yeah, I think was probably a little bit too aggressive of a block there. And we still have Aggressive Urge, which again they do know about, and Brazen Buccaneers. No attacks, no land drops still. So I guess let's play our Buccaneers and swing. I will trade the Frillback for both of these and be fine with that. Do we want the Seer? Seer does get back Sun-Crowned Hunters, seems okay. It's kind of expensive and kind of slow, but it does get there. Looks like my opponent's going in on the double block. Fine by me. I guess we should have put the vampire first on the off chance they had a trick, so we're not completely blown out, but that's alright. Okay, opponent found green, so we have ourselves a match again. Paladin the Bloodstained will be reasonable here. And it's Oaken Seer, just like we expected. So we can swing with both. If they don't double block, we can use Aggressive Urge and get some value. Go my 3/3s, go. Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. And we'll play It's Oaken Seer. And I feel like we're still in a pretty good spot here. We have drawn quite well. Kind of hit the exact number of lands we needed to. Okay. So this turn, we could play Stampeding Horncrest, but it's actually not speedy enough right now. We could just Luminous Bonds and swing, force a chump block, and send my opponent down to 3. No, down to 4. That's aggressive use of that, but we still would have Fire Cannon Blast. And potentially my opponent's just dead next turn after that. Especially because we have Luminous Bonds. Yeah, we're just going to go aggressive here, I think. I can't believe we took so long on our first game. I'm not actually sure how I pulled that off, but I'm sure you guys thought I talked way too much, so. The Branchwalker. Cool. And that is enough for my opponent. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that we won our second game off of a pretty, tough draw for my opponent, but happy with the results. I'll see you guys for match 2. Welcome back to match 2. We won the dice roll. We would like to play first. And I think we've got an okay hand here. Let's go ahead and keep it. We have all 3 colors, which is nice. We have Plummet, which is potentially good. And then at least a 3-drop, and one of the better cards in our deck, Contender Shoot Dryad. Want to play an Island. Probably bodes well for the Dryad, since that's usually a card that we're hoping to avoid running into a lot of kill spells. White-blue doesn't actually have a great answer to the Dryad, I don't think. Something like Luminous Bonds that ordinarily is a very good removal spell still doesn't interact with this. Let's play Frillback. Obviously not a great pairing against the Martyr of Dusk, but at least we'll keep my opponent from attacking us. Evolving Wilds. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'll just take it for sure. Another Martyr of Dusk. Do we Mutiny this turn? Mutiny get in for a couple points of damage, I suppose. Also keeps my opponent from attacking the following turn, since we play the Frillback to keep up. Yeah, I mean, that seems alright. So, to deal damage, and to be dealt damage. I don't think I'm ever going to get fast at playing Mutiny. Yep, opponent cracking Evolving Wilds in response, because why not, I guess. And let's go ahead and swing. And I think the pair of Frillbacks means my opponent will have to keep this Martyr of Dusk on defense. And then assuming that they tap out, we'll definitely go for the Tender Shoot Dryad. They did play a Swamp, which increases the odds of them having removal. This looks like it's their splash color, given that they just played Double Island. Not playing anything? Come on. We're swinging with the Dusk first. Well, I don't like putting that just into counter magic. Can Luminous Bonds it, just start going for 8 points of damage a turn. This is actually aggressive enough that it might just force my opponent to use either removal or their counter magic here. Because this does mean they're taking a lot of damage. might be a little bit aggressive with the Luminous Bonds, but... Okay, probably have a trick then. No. So opponent just Stone Cold didn't do anything on turn 4. Luminous Bonds on one of them. Yeah, it looks like they just don't have a good answer here. Siren's Ruse no longer stops Tendershoot Dryad. No, it would require 3 mana for pay 4. Yeah, let's go ahead and swing with our Frillback. And we're going to try and stick the Tendershoot Dryad here. Alright, Frillback offensive. Even if they have something here, Tendershoot, okay, they did not immediately, which is nice. Opponent concedes. Wow, they just flood really, really hard, maybe? Maybe kept like a 5-card or 5-land hand with 2 Mars of Dusk or something? Maybe they're playing true 3 colors and they just didn't find double black? Cool, well, happy to take the win. Blue, white, black, sort of. It didn't seem much to do with my opponent's deck, although I now realize I forgot to pull out the Forest for the Mountains, so let's do that very first. I don't know if Spike-tailed Ceratops is just what we want for a little bit of beef. I think I do like it better in the Raptor, honestly. Don't think there's anything else that really we want to change. Alright, well, let's see if we can't take game 2. Okay, got a reasonable hand here. I still like Tendershoot Dryad an awful lot. Opponent's mulligan down to 6. We're going to keep. And Luminous Bonds was a pretty nice draw too. That'll give us something to do with our Frillback at least, or something to interact with my opponent at least. Danto Vanguard. Okay, that's aggressive. I don't think we're changing anything here. Play another Forest. If my opponent plays a Flyer, we'd love to kill it, but outside of that, I think we're just gonna have to waste this 2 mana. Flyer? Ooh, Marvin Fane. Problematic. That is problematic. And we have very few ways to actually kill him, too. And the same way that my opponent can't really answer a Tendershoot Dryad, we can't really answer Marvin Fane very well. Yep. So we can play a Roska Frillback that keeps Fane at a distance at least. I guess that's the line. I kind of need to Luminous Bonds the Vanguard at some point, but it actually doesn't save us that much more life at this point. Let's just play the Frillback. I think that this game might just rely on us hoping the Tendershoot Dryad's enough. Means I think we'll probably kind of play conservatively. We do need to find one more land on the way up, but... Okay, Crashing Tide. Very reasonable. We take 5, 6 here. Oof. Yeah, we're dying pretty quick. And I imagine my opponent's just going to go and grab their... Ooh, maybe took out black. Okay, so we can Thunderherd Migration... Play nothing. We do that, we're dead the following turn. I think we need to play Frillback. Does not feel great. I feel like his hand was good, but my opponent has had a nasty curve out here. So hopefully my opponent's just not crazy aggressive here and can't like bounce it again. If they can, Water Knot's pretty bad too. Okay. So my opponent swings for 7. We go down to 4. They've got 5 creatures in play minimum. Tendershoot Dryad. I mean, we'll try. Okay, we did find a land. So let's see. We can play the Dryad. We can block one of these. We can chump block the Vanguard. We take 4. No, we take 3. Okay, I was like, wait, did I do my math wrong? This is still going to require a minor miracle, but we're not technically dead, so let's play another turn. Penetrate Dryad, I mean, it's just going to create value after value after value. If it wins us the game from here, though, goodness. So my opponent's got Combat Trick, we're dead, but can't do too much about that. Oh wait, no, it is 4. I'm still miscounting. Because Marvin Fane's 2. I would have to have traded. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was right, kind of. I don't think it's going to matter there. But yes. At least the Tenor Street Dryad didn't die. Okay, well, Marvin Fane. We don't answer that very well. Mutiny and Fire Cannon Blast are kind of our only options. I mean, there are some good cards in black that deal with it, but I think we're crazy to change anything from what we've got right now. Let's hope that being on the play just gives us enough of a speed boost that my opponent can't run us over again. And I don't think we can pass on this hand. Raging Swordtooth might be very good. Let's go ahead and keep. This is slow, though, and my opponent has shown what can happen to slow decks. Cracking Evolving Wilds. Just for blue here. And yeah, I mean, we're just playing cards. Drawing a land there was nice, because that means we can play either Thrasher Raptors or Brazen Freebooter. Hey, Raptor Companion. It's fine. Oh man, Branchwalker would have been great last turn. Then we could have truly had like the 2-3-4 curve out. As it stands, that's going to get stuck in our hand for a while. So I don't really want to trade with Raptor Companion, because if we get up to Raging Swordtooth, like, that's just a free kill. Sky Marcher is good. Do they swing? I mean, we'll go for it. Does not. I think it's actually a positive in our favor. And we drew another land, so I'm actually not going to play the Freebooter. I'm going to play Thrasher Raptors here. Like I said, still don't particularly want to trade. This is good, though. My opponent is playing a little bit more slowly. Last game, I felt like we were on the brink of death at this point, so. Okay, so play like some 1 toughness, like Queen's Commission, just be fantastic here. I mean, we're going to play it to kill off the Raptor Companion regardless, but give us some extra value. Come on. Recolor. Okay. Bouncing the Thrasher Raptors, I imagine. That's good tempo. Yeah, we're just going to play the Raging Swordtooth and get in for some damage here. Rest in peace, Raptor Companion. I could see a world where my opponent trades. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that, though. So we've each got 4 cards. My opponent's going to draw. We have 1 more land in play. I guess we're even on lands, even on cards. We have a better card on in play, but... And also maybe when they can't answer... I mean, Luminous Bonds is okay. Deadeye Brawler. That will trade. I mean, outside of Luminous Bonds, we don't really have an answer for this. So I think we're just going to play like Thrasher Raptors, Merfolk Branchwalker, and offer a trade. Which I have to assume my opponent will take, but we're going to have to kill it at some point, and if we trade now, at least some creatures in the next couple of turns can maybe get through. This is good for my opponent, but I think we got to take it. I guess if the Marauders blessed us, that would be maybe a little bit not excellent, but our Branch Walker, which means maybe we should have played that before combat. Because if the Marauders is like on top of our library, that might change that play. But what are the odds, right? Okay, Luminous Bonds, I think I'm just fine keeping. Let's play Thrasher Raptors. And then next turn we can play Brazen Buccaneers and maybe get in. My opponent doesn't swing with the Sky Marcher, we might just play Brazen Freebooter. What you got? Well, I feel like this has been the first like really competitive sort of back and forth game we've had. Ugh, Sailor Remains. Like, we both played interactive spells. First game, my opponent just kind of didn't get to play, and the second game, we kind of didn't get to play, so... Water Knot. Fair enough. Opponent doesn't know we don't have another dinosaur in hand, so I don't hate that play. Yeah, so that's going to signal us to play the Brazen Buccaneers here. And let's see what's on the top of our library, shall we? Okay. Land is not exciting, but we'll take it. Having Luminous Bonds is nice at this point in the game. We're losing the race just a little bit, but because we have Brazen Freebooter, things will start shifting in our favor, unless my opponent's got a good play here. And even if they do, we still have the bonds to take care of it. If we really need to, we can get rid of the Sky Marcher, but given that we have Plummet in our deck, and it's only 2 points a turn, I don't think we want to do that. No play for my opponent. So that could mean they've got Windstrider. If they do, that's bad for us. Was just from Rivals. I think we're gonna run into it. Please don't have it. No tapping mana. Okay, didn't tap mana. Which means I'm a genius for attacking. And, I mean, a line of 3/3s is still a line of 3/3s here. Looks like my opponent's drawn not incredibly well. Okay, Maverick Fane is annoying. It very rapidly just keeps us from being able to attack. I guess we have to get rid of the Sky Marcher at this point. We swing with, I guess, nothing, right? Because if we get in there, they just double block, we trade for a vampire. It's pretty bad. Yeah. Okay, Maverick Fane was nice. I guess maybe we should have considered Maverick Fane and how bad this was going to be for our offensive if they had it. Because then we maybe would have gotten rid of the Sky Marcher earlier, and then we could keep getting in for damage. As it stands right now, we are out of gas. Martyr of Dusk. And Air Elemental. Yeah, that's why you hold on to your Luminous Bonds. Okay, well, I guess we will just pass here. We do have Plummet, which is a great out. Oh, we can Fire Cannon Blast if we desperately need to. Assuming we find it. We would have to make a chump attack, which is not great, but we have a couple of outs. But definitely we are drawing off the top of our deck, so just go ahead and pass here, and we get one more draw. Come on, Luminous Bonds. Or Fire Cannon Blast, I guess. Uh-oh, this looks big. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're super dead. Alright, well, unfortunate. I think that we played that okay. Maybe we should have tried to get rid of the Luminous Bonds earlier, although... Or, sorry, get rid of the Sky Marcher with the Luminous Bonds earlier. But I think we just sort of ran out of gas, and that's going to be a problem with this deck for sure. Okay, well, 1-1. Not a fantastic start, but given our deck, I think we could be doing worse too. See you guys for match 3. Alright, we're back for match 3. Got a great hand here. Let's go ahead and keep it. I'm not actually sure. I guess we probably play Trailblazer before Branchwalker. Is that true? Nah, I think we probably just play the better card. And we'll start out with Branchwalker. And yeah, I mean, I really enjoy this hand. We've got multiple 2-drops, got Interaction, and then got Sunpetal Grove for give us all 3 colors, and Tendershoot Dryad eventually as our top end. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Alright, so we could play Goblin Trailblazer and offer the trade at this point. I think that we're probably in Stay Alive mode against this color combination in Raptor Companion, with the Dryad in hand, rather than really, like, eventually beat down my opponent mode. Let's play the Trailblazer. I think this card is perfectly passable in our deck, but this is not where it's at its best either. And we'd much rather trade this away than, like, an Eroska Frillback, for instance. Go ahead and trade, or try to trade. See what my opponent has for the follow-up. Nothing. So that might mean removal. So we haven't drawn another land yet, which is a little bit concerning. We can play the Branchwalker next turn and maybe try and find one. But for now, I think we're just playing a Eroska Frillback. Yeah, our opponent skipping on turn 3 is definitely a good sign for us. This color combination isn't necessarily aggressive, but it usually is. And repeating Garage there means they might have kind of a rough hand too. And this would be so much better if it came into our hand. I think we're going to play Merfolk Branchwalker and try and be greedy here. If we find a land, then we get to play Thunderherd Migration, which is pretty nice. Did not. Do we want to draw Luminous Bonds and then shuffle next turn with Thunderherd Migration? I think we actually have to pitch this, especially because Tendershoot Dryad just will take over the game if we get there. At least potentially. This is a color combination, red, that might be able to just kill it, especially with Repeating Barrage if they really need to. Do we want to keep it? We could just play the slow roll. Maybe it's just too good not to keep. Yeah, next turn we can play Thunderherd Migration. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to keep it. I talked myself into it. That may end up being incorrect, but Luminous Bonds just answers so many threats in the format. I think it's nice to keep, even if we are missing on land drops. My opponent looks like they're pretty flooded here at first glance. Temple Altasaur. Okay, well, that's big. And, I don't know, Dinosaur, I guess? I think it is getting Luminous Bonds. It's a little bit unfortunate this doesn't actually deal with, like, the big disadvantage of the ability. But I think that's alright. I don't know, do we just want a Thunderherd now? We Thunderherd for 3. We go and find red. Next turn we can play a Rozka Raptor, and I guess that kind of keeps the Temple Altasaur at bay. We'll hold on to the Luminous Bonds for a scarier threat. So we're going to take 3 points of damage here, but getting rid of the Temple Altasaur on its own just doesn't solve the main problem, since any dinosaur they play from here on out is close to indestructible, although I guess if pacifism's our answer, it matters a little bit less anyway. Let's see what the follow-up is here. Just get back Repeating Barrage. This my opponent's definitely considering it. Barrage is a little bit unfortunate for Tendershoot Dryad. Just the Death Spitter. Okay. And this would be dealt to a dinosaur you control, prevent all but one. So let's see, we can play Tendershoot Dryad now. They swing next turn. We trade. They get back Repeating Barrage, they kill it the turn after that. That gives us how many turns? Well, I guess no, they don't trade, because Temple Altasaur is a grump. Yeah, I kind of think we try and land it. Then my opponent will use up their entire next turn. We're not actually going to be able to ascend quite in time. I think that's probably going to be the play, is they'll just have to return it. We take 6, go down to 11. My opponent returns it. We've made 1, 2, 3 saplings by the time it dies. Don't have a great answer for the Allosaur. We could just play Raptor and play it conservatively. We still take 2 damage from the Frill Sputter. Problem is we're just never going to be able to get rid of this card. Like, Tendershoot Dryad's got a clock kind of no matter how we look at it. And it may just get worse as time goes on, too. I guess let's play the Dryad. And get at least a little bit of value out of it. I think it's the first time in the format I've actually had to play against Allosaur on the battlefield, and it's annoying. The opponent had Mutiny. So a fairly clean answer anyway. I am pretty happy if they don't attack with the Allosaur, because then we could try and use Mutiny to kill off the Allosaur. We're just going to take it here. They brought back Repeating Barrage, just getting that good value while they can. So we could play the Horncrest, although I actually can't even swing here. So I think we're just going to swing with the Branch Walker, play Raptor, and if my opponent gives us the opportunity to Mutiny, we will definitely Mutiny. This is 3, right? Oh, wait. Repeating Barrage is 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's any way my opponent blocks. Yeah. Which means I guess playing the Horncrest is maybe just more mana efficient. This is a tough spot to be in, though, because my opponent can just consistently kill something with Repeating Barrage. Sky Marcher Aspirant, not bad, honestly. Highest Interdiction. Yeah, now they can just swing with kind of a lot. We really just need a something that kills the Allosaur. Okay, so we're down to 8. So this turn, I suppose we kill off like the Aspirant with Mutiny and play Brazen Buccaneers. We can also just Luminous Buns, the Death Spitter. I guess we Luminous Bonds, Death Spitter, keep these things back. Kill off Aspirant. Alright. Then my opponent at least can't attack us. Well, no, they can anyway, because they can still play Repeating Barrage next turn. Yeah, this is just not a good spot. I'll swing with both of these guys, I guess. Maybe we should have been a little bit more aggressive in playing Luminous Bonds. I kept trying to think of a way we could kind of sneak around the Allosaur, but just kind of don't. So we take 5, and to the very brink of death. At least the Allosaur doesn't make the Nest Robber better, right? Have to assume they're shooting something. Yeah, oh, I guess me. Haha, details. Okay, well, soundly smashed. What are we changing? Can we change anything? I don't think Plummet's gonna be very good. Ceratops. Still need to change my lands around. I swear one of these times I'm gonna remember to do it in between rounds. I guess a Roscaraptor would have been fairly okay that game. Okay, well, let's run this back and pray. One of the big problems of this deck is, while it has okay threats, like not even fantastic, but okay ones, we are just really, really light on removal. Especially removal that takes care of static abilities. Okay, so we This hand was keepable, obviously, since I kept it. I've got Goblin Trailblazer. If we find any land, we can play one of the Luminous Bonds. Find a couple of lands, we can play Brazen Buccaneers. Find green, we can play Seer. See, good hand. Alright, so we're going to try and attack my opponent for 2. Looks like we probably will be able to, unless there's removal. Drover the Mighty is not bad. We're going to play Zokin Seer here. See if they have like a Slash of Talons or something similar. Doesn't look like it. Let's play Seer. So pretty good start for us, for sure. Let's see what their follow-up is here. Or, I guess, for their first play. Not so much of a follow-up. So we can play Brazen Buccaneers attack. We find a land that's pretty good for us. Alternatively, we can play like Ranging Raptors. I think that the Buccaneer swing is good. I don't want to trade the Seer away. So using the mana here doesn't really cost us. And I'm actually kind of hoping to find a land. Horncrest, huh? I guess we keep that on top. We'll swing with both. I think my opponent probably will trade, but... Okay. And no follow-up land is unfortunate, but... Next turn we'll play Ranging Raptors. Bombard, okay. I don't actually have anything we can get back out of the graveyard, so that's true tragedy. So opponent probably killed that there because they knew we kept the Stampeding Horncrest on top, so maybe trying to punish sort of a greedy play. I think we're going to play Ranging Raptors instead of the Horncrest, because if we find another land, Horncrest isn't all that fast anyway. This is a little bit more mana efficient, even though Drover of the Mighty will draw us more in the... Well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe playing Drover was more correct there. Because even if we weren't using the mana next turn, we could swing for another 3. Whereas Ranging Raptors is only going to be for 2. Imperial Aerosaur. With no value. Another land... Yeah, I think we should have played... Well, I don't know. I'm going to swing with the Trailblazer and just play Drover the Mighty, I guess. We definitely have the tempo edge over my opponent this game, which is nice. We maybe could have swinged with Raging Raptors there. Probably could have, actually. So it's very unlikely my opponent blocks. It's just really bad if we have like an aggressive urge. Yeah, I'll bet we should have swung. Missed opportunity. So next turn we'll be able to play Stampeding Horncrest unless they answer the Drover, and even then we might be able to. Real Death Spitter. Reasonable. Okay. So let's play... Swing at the Trailblazer and Drover, maybe? If we swing at the Drover, my opponent's just going to trade with Frill Sputter. Nah, I think that's not great. We could Luminous Bonds and get in for 7. Trying to encourage my opponent to block, which they would. They go down to 8. We're out of a Drover. I think no matter how I look at it, I'd just rather play the Horncrest here. Do we want to trade it away for Aerosaur? Not particularly, but maybe we just should. If we trade it for Aerosaur, then Ranging Raptors can start getting in. It means it's less likely my opponent can block with Trailblazer going forward, because we have a bunch of Luminous Bonds. I think we're just going to go for it. I guess that's true. We didn't really actually consider that block from our opponent, and that's not fantastic for us. They do get into 6, and we get to draw land. So that's not terrible, because potentially next turn we could go like Luminous Bonds on some stuff. But yeah, that maybe wasn't our finest play. Actually, no, this is any color, right? Yeah, so we could Luminous Bonds. Which, if my opponent doesn't have a great play here, might be surprising. Squire's Devotion. Okay, that buys them a lot of time. We do have a good answer for it in the bonds, but this buys them a lot of time. Yeah, I mean, we're just taking it. Okay, so this turn, we could... What? Luminous Bonds, swing with everything. My opponent trades, probably with the Drover. Take 6. We play Merfolk Branchwalker. Yeah, okay. Attack with everything here. I will trade the Trailblazer for my opponent's Death Spitter and not be too unhappy too if my opponent wants to do that. Opponent goes down to 4 here. We take 2, but that doesn't really matter. Got Luminous Bonds. And a couple more threats coming in. So hopefully my opponent's in the position where they just have to chump block the Vampire next turn. And that, with another Luminous Bonds, means I think we can just kind of keep keeping up this pressure. We're actually going to keep Aggressive Urge on top. 1 more point of damage and a cantrip seems okay to me. This means that any of our threats are lethal. Since we can Luminous Bonds the Vampire. Territorial Hammerskull is not going to do it. Okay, so we just Luminous Bonds. Can we play around? Yeah, because we still have Aggressive Urge up. We Luminous Bonds there, they block there, they're still dead. Yep, I think that's the play. Well, we drew a lot of the best cards in our deck this game, but we did manage to pick up a game, so that's nice. Opponent concedes. Still not changing anything. Imperial Aerosaur does kind of make me want to keep in Plummet. It's possible they could have the 2/5 as well. So maybe we want to bring that back in. Still think we're going to have a really tough time beating Altasaur. Plummet also might be sweet, because if they play the Aerosaur and pick up something huge, we could plummet it. Yeah, I think rest in peace to Rosca Raptors. You're just never all that impressive. Okay, got a pretty good hand. We have Angrass Marauders for the first time. Let's go ahead and keep. We would really like to find a dinosaur so we can play Thunderherd Migration on turn 2, but if we can't, we can't. Skymarcher Aspirant's an aggressive start for my opponent as well. We should have played Sunpetal Grove there first, because that gives us the option to... Well, I guess we can still do it. Go for either Zoken Seer or Fire Cannon Blast on turn 3. We have a follow-up? No follow-up. So, the Aggressive Urge I think we're actually going to use on the Aspirant. Just cycle? Or do we just want to take another couple points? Maybe just a couple points isn't all that bad for us. Really wish we could cast this, but sometimes the dinos just don't quite work out. Yep, we're just going to take 2. No questions asked here. Hammerskull's not great. So I think we are going to Fire Cannon Blast and kill it this next turn. Means I think we still hold Aggressive Urge. Yeah, and then we can play Raisin Freebooter the turn after. My opponent's got a lot of things we want to kill, and we only have so much removal, but I think the Hammer Skull is too dangerous to leave alive. So this next turn, I guess we're playing Brazen Freebooter probably. Unless my opponent's got removal, which they might, they haven't used any yet, but Brazen Freebooter will be able to answer it. Ooh, Swordtooth is fantastic. It's another reason to play the Freebooter. Yeah. So now even if they have a kill spell and we go down to 8, Raging Swordtooth will go a long ways towards helping us stabilize. And if they don't have a way to get through, it's even better. Pious Interdiction, fine by me. Would much rather them shoot that than the Swordtooth. Come on, play another Aspirant. Do it. Come on. Yeah, I don't think Goodness really puts up a fight here. I mean, we could play like Ranging Raptors, but even though it does find us lands, I feel like that's a little bit greedy. I just want to kill these guys. Too many things go wrong. If they just have another Pious Interdiction, we go down to 4, and then we're very close to just losing. Whereas now, we're still at a somewhat healthy 8 life, and we've got a 5/5 in play. Real Death Spitter. Yeah, my opponent's just let loads of Death Spitters. Like, we feel so precarious in that spot. Alright. So Thunderherd Migration and Ranging Raptors, I guess, probably the play. We're going to swing with the Swordtooth here, I think. My opponent's got a way to remove Raptors. I guess maybe that's a little bit aggressive. I think it's still okay, though. Ooh, actually, let's play this in the right order here. Reveal Raptors. That'd been very sad if we tried to do that the other direction. And I guess we're going to go get Forest. Raptors. And now we kind of have a billion mana, which is nice. If we find a land, we can actually play the Marauders next turn. And we're not quite to lethal, but very close. Okay, playing the Raptor Companion there is probably a good sign. We did not find a land. Do we still just want to trade? I feel like just getting stuff off my opponent's board is so valuable. And we can still play like Seer and Frillback and have a pretty good lethal attack, or potentially lethal attack next turn. Yeah, let's swing with our Swordtooth again. My opponent may just take it. Oop. Come on, there we go. After furiously clicking. Okay, now I think if we land Marauders, assuming we're not dead, that probably ends the game. Yeah, that Swordtooth draw was pretty clutch. Because we went from being pretty far behind to doing pretty well. Alright, opponent concedes. Didn't even get to see the value, but cool. 2-1. Not unhappy with that. Still have that 4-1 ultimate victory record in mind. See you guys for our 4th match. Alright, we're back for match 4. Have a perfectly reasonable hand here. It's a little bit awkward if the Drover gets killed, but if it doesn't, we have Brazen Freebooter, and that gives us another red source as well. Evolving Wilds off the start for my opponent, always a welcome addition. Thunderherd Migration's a little bit unfortunate because we don't have a dino right now, but it will be good if we find one. And not terrible even if we don't. Ooh, also playing against a red-green deck. I'm not sure I actually like our matchup against this sort of thing. We don't have tons that deals with like Colossal Dreadmaw and the like. So, I mean, there is that. So we could Thunderherd Migration, but I think we're just going to Drover here. I guess Thunderherd Migration plays around like Lightning Strike. Is there another instant speed spell? Dual Shot? I guess if we can, maybe we might as well. Drover the Mighty is also better on later in the game. Like, this could potentially come down as like a 3/3 threat later on, whereas now it might just end up trading off. I guess playing the Drover gives us more flexibility next turn, potentially. But I think it's pretty close one way or the other, so. Ooh, yeah, the real mirror, it looks like. We have a Sunpetal Grove, though. Do you have a Sunpetal Grove? No play. I guess let's play Freebooter, because I'd rather that get killed than Thrasher Raptors, and I still think it's fairly likely my opponent's sitting on some interaction over there. Maybe not. I'd rather not use that treasure for the Spike-tailed Ceratops, because we are trying to get up to 7 for the Marauders. Ooh. Tendershoot Dryad, though, on the other hand. Would we play it for the Tendershoot Dryad? Probably still not. They use removal on the Dryad. That might mean that the Marauders makes it later. We're still a couple lands away, too. It's very likely my opponent plays like a Dreadmaw or something this next turn. In which case, maybe keeping them off of that's not terrible. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to try and stick the Dryad. This might be a little bit aggressive, but if they can't answer it, obviously it's great in any of those cases. And it might also keep them from really using Knight of the Stampede's ability for a turn. Might help us find more removal. This is the highest impact play here. And I may have been just too hesitant to play with Tendershoot Dryad. Yeah, I see. But only so much you can do about it, too. Hey, Branchwalker plus Drover is pretty nice. And a land's not bad either. I guess I maybe should have kept up red. Yeah, not that it's gonna matter, but. So we are up to 6 mana now. It's very close to Angrath's range. And they did user-friendly fire, so. Another Knighted Stampede. If that's all they got, I'm pretty okay. Oh, okay, and Pterodon. That's pretty funny, for one. Good enough, good enough. Alright. So we played the Marauders, and then we can attack with the Freebooter, but it just like double block. I think we're going to play a Ceratops. Let's see, we've got 2, 3, 4, we got 7. We'll play Ceratops in like Mutiny. Mutiny's probably 2 for winning us, and that's bad given that we have the Marauders. But I think if we just kind of build out our hand, Marauders could potentially lead to a really big, nasty play. I think that's okay. My opponent doesn't seem to have much beyond the Knights of the Stampede right now. Like, I don't know. Yeah, okay, they do have Dreadmaw. Yeah, maybe they're just playing the other Knight because they knew it would be the most efficient way to get going. Hunt the Week's bad for us. Bad for our health. On the other hand, if we played Angrath last turn, it would have died. And we don't like that either. So this turn, I'm kind of tempted to play Mutiny. We're definitely going to play both of these cards. Right now, the Thrasher Raptors doesn't have any backup, which is a little bit sad, but it's okay. Yeah, we Mutiny, so deal damage to the Pterodon. And hopefully my opponent's going to have a overrun sort of level attack to deal with next turn when we play the Marauders. It is going to be a lot of damage. Obviously, like an Elder Dino makes me sad. Charging Monster Sword also kind of makes me sad. Okay, swing for 12, we go down to 6. Next turn, we swing with the Marauders. My opponent blocks the biggest things they can. Still takes 6, 10. Not enough. This won't be trampling. Let's see. Block, 10, 14, 16. We need to survive long enough. I think we're still just taking it. I don't know, I guess we could double block the Monster Soar. Yeah, I guess we trade a 3-3 unless they have a trick. If they have a trick, it's obviously not great. But I'm not sure we're winning against a trick. Here's our last card in hand. Come on, show me nothing. Okay. Show me nothing, I'm okay with that. Okay, so now we probably have 2 turns with the Dread. Oh man, another one? Yeah, this is why I said this matchup may not be great for us. That's true, we were actually considering that we would draw a land to swing at the Drover too. My opponent just got lethal. And actually the Drover's turned off right now, because we lost the Thrash. I wonder if we should even play the Marauders. Is this game just over anyway? I mean, I guess we can trade up pretty well still with it even in play. I mean, this is good, but even though these cards trade up with the Dreadmaws, the problem is we're still under the gun for a lot of damage. That wasn't quite as triumphant as I would have hoped. Oh wow, Bishop of Binding off the top. Yeah, that's gotta be game. Yeah! This is... I think we actually had like a fairly good draw, and this just shows how badly things can go. I guess we can like block. Yeah, I think this game is probably done. I don't know. I guess we could... Let's make some blocks. It is not just over yet. We could leave one more creature back if we trade for that one. We have to get... I guess that means we're already not dying, right? Yeah, let's do something like that. I don't know. Maybe we should have held Tendershoot Dryad. We haven't ever had the opportunity to really watch it go off. I don't think there's anything we can have here. That's definitely not it. Alright, let's go to game 2. Looks dangerous. Don't love Plummet still, although they do have a Pterodon. Although I don't love Vorozka Raptor either. Like, not really sure what our other options are. We could shift into black just because we really need the removal. Although we only have Walk the Plank that really answers anything. Yeah, I think this is going to be a tough game for us, but I don't think we change anything. Do we keep this? Don't have any early play. We will have access to Fire Cannon Blast. I think we probably need to get out under my opponent, though. We're going to mulligan this. Hands better, but only slightly. It does have green, which is awfully nice. It has borderline. I could see keeping that first hand, too. The problem is, I think that my opponent most certainly has bigger late game than we do. So outside of kind of a bad draw, I think we're in trouble if the game goes to turn 10 or whatever. Alright, opponent mulligan to 6 after a lengthy decision period as well. Opponent keeps as well. Ooh, do we want Seer? It's very good if we find a land. It only gives us 1 draw to do so. If they find an early creature, we can cantrip with the Aggressive Urge. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it. I think we're going to play off the assumption that we just have to get kind of a lucky, good start. And it's not like this is crazy reaching. It's obviously reaching a little bit, but... Okay. So I'd be very happy if they actually have a play on turn 2. Not something I say very often, but we really want to cycle this Aggressive Urge. Alright, come on, land! Land! Alright, darn. Game's not over. Finding a land may have been better, though. But not playing anything just yet. Okay, Drove over the Mighties, a good draw. I guess if we hadn't had the Seer, yeah. If we hadn't drawn the Seer, things would have been... Well, we couldn't play it on turn 2 anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's in the past one way or another here. The lands are still great draws for us, obviously. Branchwalker counts as a maybe land, or at the very least lets us dig towards a land, so I like that. Putting pretty much anything onto the bottom if it's not, but it was indeed. And we actually even have the opportunity to play Aggressive Urge here. Kind of concerned my opponent just drops a Dreadmaw next turn, but... Or Monster Soar. Just about as bad. Are we cantripping the Aggressive Urge? Yeah, we are. Okay, land was nice. So you can play the Tender Street Dryad. Hope they don't have removal. Is that the plan again? I really hate that plan. What's the alternative? The alternative is Spike-tailed Ceratops double block. That would probably let us know if they had removal for sure. Because if they have it, they're going to use it there for the blowout for sure. They don't. Then we can try and stick the Tender Street Dryad next turn, maybe. Yeah, I'm never sure when to just run this out and when to try and play around something. It's just so massive if it survives, and pretty underwhelming if it eats removal immediately. Like, I think it's basically impossible to lose a game if you've had a Tender Shot Dryad out for 3 turns or more. Maybe even 2 turns. I mean, yep, we're double blocking for sure. Then my opponent's got, like, Unfriendly Fire. Yeah, okay. So it looks like they probably don't have removal. Yeah, especially because Pterodon's their next best play. I could see maybe if they were going to play Colossal Dreadmaw, saying, well, actually, it's actually just better to trade that off and then have the Dreadmaw. Although I think even then I'd still be greedy with the removal. But let's stick a Tender Street Dryad. And pray my opponent's got nothing. This is what Magic is all about. Come on, nothing. If my opponent didn't use it there, good on them. I think it takes... So it would have taken me some restraint, I guess, to not kill there. Come on, nothing. No, not Unfriendly Fire. Okay, whew. And Tender Street Dryad is online. Okay, and now this very quickly becomes overwhelming for my opponent. 2 Suncrested Pterodons is kind of annoying, because that means we actually can't swing into them all that effectively. We have 7 mana available now. I guess let's start off with the Brazen Buccaneers. On the other hand, if we find land, having Thrasher Raptors to be able to attack, or a Dinosaur would be pretty nice. And Brazen Buccaneers might be able to swing in a later turn as well. So next turn we could always sack the Seer and grab Spike-tailed Ceratops too, so I think that's an extra bonus. And we are creeping up on Saprolings. We're taking 4 points a turn from my opponent's Pterodons, which, barring no combat tricks or anything, is a 4-turn clock. I think we should have overrun them by then. I've always appreciated the fact that these guys, when they're both out, get Vigilance. They've even got another one in the background there. Seems kind of cool. And I had the Stampede, so Dreadmaws might be coming soon. Okay, so we're cracking at Zokenseer so we can swing with the Ceratops. I guess adding green might as well, right? And I don't think we're in the swing with Saprolings phase just yet. Opponent would only take 3 and be able to snipe 1, which doesn't seem like a great trade. Play our Brazen Buccaneer. And do we want Trailblazer? I think that's actually kind of low impact. I'd rather find removal or like Marauders. I just don't think the Trailblazer is actually going to do all that much in this game. Okay, let's swing at the Thrasher Raptors. No blocks is good for me. Hardy Veterans, another blocker for my opponent. Ooh, Vonus Hunger. Okay, that's... Ooh, alright. Sacrifice 5 creatures. I mean, I guess the Saprolings are just the ones that bite it, right? They're the worst, especially if my opponent finds an answer for the Tenderstreet Dryad. Wow, Vonus Hunger, the splash. I guess they did see Tenderstreet Dryad. Well, I was already starting to figure out, like, okay, so what's our best attacks next turn? It turns out we kind of just don't have any. Ooh, Marauders was great. We play Marauders. We swing with everything. Everything my opponent's got over there is lethal. They could potentially take 3 or 4, 10, then that's lethal. So they have to block with 2 things. They go like block, block. I guess like block, that's kind of free, so we wouldn't want to swing at the Tenderstreet Dryad. And then we're actually in a... well, no. I guess we're playing Marauders regardless here. I just don't think we can quite go for lethal. And my opponent would have been so dead without bonus hunger last turn. Okay, but these are obviously all attacking now. And we still have a couple of blockers for their stuff on the ground. We'd have to have 3. Do we want to leave back 1 more for defense? No, we're going to make another Saproling. That's 4. My opponent hasn't had removal spell for the Tenderstreet Dryad anyway. We're taking that anyway. We have 4 blockers. Yeah, I think we're just coming in. And this is going to force some number of chump blocks too. So I guess, yeah, just kind of getting in with everything but the Tenderstreet Dryad. Yeah, this is tough to beat, admittedly. Okay, that's pretty good for us. Yeah, we're just going to kill the Suncrested Pterodon. Actually, that's going to die anyway. Sakama might be one of the few ways we lose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I'm actually going to kill the Knight. I guess if they have a trick, maybe that could... well, it'd be a +3/+3. Maybe that was playing around something that was too much to play around. Because if they have, like, Crash the Ramparts, I'm going to feel really bad here. Because we can't block the Pterodon. Okay. I think it's unlikely to have mattered either way, but that may have been incorrect. Okay, well, we won when we both mulliganed, and we had our perfect draw. 2 Suncrested Pterodons means I think Plummet's definitely staying in. It just blanks our offensive so effectively, too. Yeah, run it back. And pray. Okay, this hand is okay. Let's go ahead and keep it. Don't have red, but if we find red or white, the hand ends up being pretty good pretty fast. So we're going to go and find white with our Thunderherd migration, because we can play the Seer. Party veteran. Cool. And we'll cast Revealing. Yes, Ceratops? Sure. Grab white. Pass the turn. We maybe could have gone for red there and played Thrash this next turn, but Thrash on its own is just not that inspiring. I guess it's a little bit more mana efficient though. Because we could have played Thrash and then Trailblazer plus I don't know. But maybe into Ceratops. Yeah, actually I think that Thrash would have been better there. Okay. Minor mistakes. But minor mistakes lose games. Tenor Street Dryad was obviously a great draw. Okay, Bombard. Would rather them use it there than on our Dryad. That is a little bit unfortunate since we went for the white and didn't have, or can't play anything now, but we're one land away from a Ceratops, which will help stall, or a Tender Street Dryad that could just take over the game. Maybe we should have gone for red. We'd have Thrasher Raptors now, and at least like a Goblin Trailblazer. They don't kill it there, though. Life is good. But sometimes you play that and you lose because of it. I actually don't think we have an out now, because we go down to 2. Even if we find another land and it is a red land, we're dead. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Well, that was a maybe careless decision. They don't have Bombard, or if they choose not to use Bombard on the Seer, we're in pretty good shape, although I guess then we are still reliant on finding Mountain. Anyway, this game is done, unfortunately. We also just, could have drawn a Mountain in any of those draws and not been too sad. I think that going for the Seer is correct. It just worked out, unfortunately, this game. Well, 2-2. If we go 3-2, I guess we still get to salvage a winning record, but yeah, kind of disappointed. Welcome back for match 5. Pretty easy mulligan here, unfortunately, given that we have 6 lands and 1 card we can't cast, but I guess we keep this. I do hate going to 5. I'm gonna put that on bottom. I guess we could Fire Cannon Blast something on the way up, and that is nah, it's just not good. It just looks good because it's one of the only beefy cards in our deck. But I think in most decks there'd be like, no way you keep there. Not a super stellar start, but on the Merfolk plan maybe? Usually a pretty safe bet when you see blue-green as your start. Well, the Merfolk's usually not great and sealed too. Opponent maybe thinks for a while, but has no play there. And, I mean, at least that was a Plains. That's not like another forest, another mountain, something that we can't do anything with. Let's see what's up. Adonis Climb. Okay, yeah, that's what we call bad for us. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to beat turn 3 Crolime. Still no play. Interesting. If I had a really flooded hand, I might just keep it with Adonis Climb, especially in the first game when your opponent may just not have a good answer for it. This might run into counter magic. I don't think we can really avoid it. God's Dispersal. Rest in peace. At least it wasn't a Hornswoggle. We can't just play nothing, though, because if they ever find a threat, then we're way behind. Snapping Sailback to get that pre-counter. Oop, 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 oop. Oh man, I have 6 through the turn. Well, this may have been a tough game anyway, but that did not help. Yeah, it might be hard to tell what it would look like otherwise. Take 6 free damage here. Well, on the other hand, my opponent didn't swing. Maybe they were being kind because it looked like we F6'd? Well, either way. Gonna try and remove the few threats that we can. My opponent does get the chance just to flip the climb this next turn, though. Slice in twain. Alright. Well, my opponent missed on an attack, I suppose. So they could just swing for 14 here. Yeah. F6ing was bad, obviously, but I guess if there's a game to accidentally F6 through, maybe this was it. I think there's very real reason not to just go for a ton of damage here. Well, no. If you've got a threat, you should play it. Okay, Hardy Veteran. 14-14 flying, though. Swinging on turn. I guess it's turn 6. Let's not be ridiculous. Still just die, though, because we could Luminous Bonds. I guess we can kill both of them. Yeah, I mean, if there's a shot, we should take it, right? I think this would take a true blue miracle, but if there's a shot, we should take it. I'll try and play fast, though, as to not waste your guys' time. Sailor of Means beatdown incoming. We have literally nothing in the deck that deals with that, right? I guess Plummet. No, I'm done. I'm done. This is it. My opponent just had no more creatures for us the game, maybe. So we're gonna take in 4. Drawn. Died. Yeah. Yeah. Hedon's Climb is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so Plummet's definitely staying in. We actually don't have any of the enchantment removal, do we? Yeah, I don't think we have anything at all, so I guess we just kind of have to hope they don't find it and play it. Great plan. Would like to play first. And this hand is very good. I think this is about as good a shot as we've got. And I mean, my opponent didn't play like any early creatures. Maybe they don't have a great hand outside of an Honest Climb. They did mulligan down to 6. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. Plus, look at this. It's basically constructed. 2 dual lands before basic. What? The dream. We're going to be very careful not to F6 again. We've learned our lesson. Maybe. Hopefully. Next turn, we're just going to play Frillback and swing for 3. And the turn after that, we'll probably do the same, although we do have the Sword Tooth if we need to. This is a pretty aggressive hand to take advantage of a mulligan, so it's nice. I don't think I care all that much about the freebooter, so let's just go ahead and get in for some damage. Given that my opponent might have kind of a tough opening, the 4-2 may just be better than the 3-3 anyway. This doesn't mean that we could play the Sword Tooth next turn that we couldn't otherwise, or anything like that, too, so. Ooh, Jaylight Ranger, it's a good one. It's a good one for sure. Gleaming Barrier. I wouldn't be surprised if you just keep Gleaming Barrier on top, although it looks like they're stuck on lands, so. And Hunt the Weak. Hunt the Weak pitch 2, so they probably don't even have another forest then. On the other hand, look at our beautiful multicolored array. Attack with both here. Is it the time to play the freebooter? It represents 1 fewer damage. Oroska Frillback's a little bit more likely to let us Devil Spell in the future, though, especially given that we get a treasure here. Next turn, we'll still be able to play either Frillback or the Sword Tooth to turn the Drover back on. And they did find a land, even if it's not a fantastic one. Hey, Plummet! Haha! Take that hit on his climb. Do we just play the Sword Tooth? Yeah, I guess so. We should play our land first. Don't want to randomly use treasure we don't have to. So this is just a 5/5 trample for 5, but okay with that. I guess it's a strictly worse charging monster sword in this case, but charging monster sword is a pretty good card too. And it's possible we can just kill my opponent this next turn. Okay, well, we both had pretty unfair games. My opponent, I guess both times my opponent's fault because they played a bomb rare and they also played just a deck that didn't do anything. Yeah, nothing changing. Last game, that 3-2, it's on the line, boys. That winning record. Not sure we could take the shame if we lost. All right. Here. Kind of a questionable hand. I think I'm going to keep it. If we find green, it is very good. And even if we don't, any land lets us play Brazen Buccaneers, and even now we can play Luminous Pawns. Yeah, it's okay. Forest off the top would make me very happy. I just need to ask for that sort of thing more often. So this will let us play Drover the Mighty next turn. Guess Dinosaur off the top. Let's go do that for our next draw. Dinosaur. Dinosaur. Not a land. Okay, I'll sell for Fire Cannon Blast. Alright, I have to imagine they're going to have a play this time, though. Not going to be quite as lucky. Oh, wow. No play. So I guess we'll play Brazen Buccaneers at this point. Yeah. Don't think we're likely to run into anything instant speed and nasty here. Oh, Hornswoggle. Okay. No, that's true. Can't do too much about that. But a good play by my opponent nonetheless. So now we have the danger of running into a frillback, which is rough. Raising Whiptail. Pretty good in general. Horncrest is just a little bit bigger, which is nice. Even if it's not going to be trample here. I still don't, like, we're not killing it, but my opponent hasn't found it on his climb yet, and Hunt the Weak, ugh. Wow, that's rough. Take 4. Yeah, might as well. So we can play Frillback, Trailblazer. Opponent probably won't swing again. If they do, I guess we can get good value out of Fire Cannon Blast. So I think we're not going to Luminous Bonds just yet. That's the slight upside of letting us get in for 3 points of damage too, which is never a bad thing. Alright, go my minions. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I shouldn't be disappointed with how this deck's performed. It just, I feel like our pool really didn't come together in any fantastic way. I think we built kind of the best deck we could. Alright. My opponent just has 1 follow-up here. We get to kill it and hit for 9. It's a lot of damage. Especially if it's small. The Nightmare scenarios, they just don't play anything, because then they've got the frill back. Okay, Rick Holler. Fairly reasonable. I guess probably just bouncing the frill back. Sounds good. So land actually wouldn't be bad draw here, because then we could play Fire Cannon Blast and the frill back. Zoken Seer. I like that because it lets us get back to the Horncrest eventually. I guess we're just going to play Seer and... I guess we swing at the Trailblazer, blow up the Whiptail, play Seer. Alright, let's do that. We are at 12. We have to respect the fact that my opponent could just start getting in for close to lethal pretty quickly. I wonder if we'd rather play the Frillback then. How much does this here actually matter? So next turn we have 6 mana, 7 mana. We get sack. If we draw a land, we can play Luminous Bonds as well. Although that still means the Frillback's just not even attacking next turn. We would rather have Luminous Bond or the Frillback. We may even trade it here too. No, well, I guess that Zokenseer could have like blocked and then brought back Horncrest. Horncrest isn't going to be hasty though. Maybe kind of close, honestly. The Overgrown Armasaur, that's getting Luminous Bonds for sure. It does not swing. Okay, so we're going to town this turn though. Opponent will probably just block. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to interact with the Frillback very effectively. Ooh, man, double white though, that's true, I forgot about that. That means that the Drover can't swing as well. So we could just swing with these two anyway, in which case my opponent is like offering trades. They would trade the Trailblazer for the Rigwahauler, which is, I guess, not terrible for us. Okay, let's just do that instead. I don't know. Means we're not playing the Luminous Bonds, and we may have to just play the Luminous Bonds anyway. Just offering a trade there. I don't know, I guess that maybe that kind of ends up being the same thing anyway. Although we also lose our 1 dinosaur for the Horncrest. No, I think we outplayed ourselves there. The more I think about it, the more I dislike that. Because we could have... Yeah, I don't like that. I take it all back. Alright, we are out of gas. We still can get back our Stampeding Horncrest, but in a lot of ways we have reached our peak. Our opponent's still got 4 cards in hand. Jade Light Ranger. Uh-oh. Yeah, that has the high chance of being pretty big. Ooh, and Hunt the Weak off the top. Kinda don't see there's any way my opponent doesn't go for keeping that. They just get to snipe like the Drover or the Goblin Trailblazer here. Okay, opponent did decide to keep the Hunt the Weak. Ooh, Tender Street Dryad's actually probably one of the few cards that could win us here. Okay, alright. Yeah, if they use Hunt the Weak and they don't have anything else, Tender Street Dryad could get there. Get back the Horncrest. And then at least we can swing at the Drover this turn. I guess we just get to swing with both. That is 5 damage. And that means that my opponent will have a lot of incentive, I think, to attack. Oh, look out, Dispersal. Nope, can't do it. So I think we actually leave these back and seek to chump block, or double block. Because we want my opponent to use the Hunt the Weak so much. Then Tender Street Dryad? Come on, give us one more game. One more game, man. Slice and Twain. Ew, that's bad. And it keeps the Hunt the Weak. Man, come on, just one game. Just one game. We'll definitely trade for the Jade Light Ranger. If that's my opponent's goal here. Yep, alright, so we're down to 8. Opponent has kept the removal spell in hand. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, the game is still not over. So now they Hunt the Weak, and Suncrown Hunters trades. They swing for another 4. I guess we're still not swinging. Just gonna play cautiously. We have the trump card. Oh man, that was like 2 absurdly good draws in a row. I do not know if we deserved this game. We still lose to Honest Climb. It's not close, but okay, One with the Wind is equally bad. Hunt the Weak. They take us to 1 here. Ah, man. Tragedies. They never cease. Got a chump block, obviously. I guess we could find Luminous Bonds. Is the greatest and luckiest opening gonna continue? Is that even enough? No, we still got a 1. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We wouldn't have made it anyway, but maybe we should have kept the drover with that in mind. Man, so close. I feel like we drew like the perfect 3 cards and still just didn't quite have the muscle. And that kind of feels like a nice like catchphrase for the entire sealed event. We just didn't quite have the muscle. Yeah. Tragedy. Alright, GG. One with the Wind was a little bit unexpected there. I definitely don't think we can guarantee that. I do think sandbagging the Tender Shoot Dryad until after Hump the Week is good. Tragedy. Well, I mean, I guess on the plus side, I think we actually went even on wins and losses, right? We went 7 and 7, so basically we went even. We're gonna say that as our way to save face. Well, I don't know. I think a lot of this did just come down to deck construction. I think we played most of the games pretty well. There maybe were a couple of like tight plays that could have gone one way or the other. Definitely not sure we played with Tender Shoot Dryad to its fullest, but I think we did give ourselves the best chance that we could have in deck building. It just wasn't a great pool, I think. If you guys saw something that I missed and you think that there was a better way to construct the deck, I would really love to hear it, because I'm always looking to improve, certainly. And you know, you're hoping for better than a 2-3 record, and I'd like to think that most sealed pools have the potential to deliver better. But no matter how things turned out, it was a pleasure to play with you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.